What's up, guys? Welcome back to Gotians Games. Welcome back to another epicseven video, and today we are doing another character showcase. And today's video we are showcasing Vildred, the Earth Thief. Now we're gonna go over why I actually like running him. He's as one of my top farmers, and why, in my opinion, he's actually a decent unit to start with if you're new to the game. So make sure you guys are hitting that like button, subscribing if you guys are new, and let's talk about Vildred. So to start off, I have my Vildred 6-starred. I actually didn't record a video when I was 6-starring him, but we're going to talk about him just on the showcase right now. Vildred as himself, he bases his attacks and abilities on his speed. So the higher his speed, the more damage his attacks will do. So his first attack is Sweep, which he attacks 2 enemies with, and the damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's speed. His second ability, Dancing Blade, once you kill a target, it then increases the attack of the caster for 2 turns and attacks all enemies once more when you kill a target with either Sweep or Blade Ascent. Blade Ascent being his third ability. Also, when an enemy is defeated, he gains combat readiness of 20% each time an enemy is defeated, which makes him really good, once again, for farming, because then you're going to get those follow-up attacks a lot faster and more often. His third ability, Blade Ascent, attacks all enemies with a sword storm, dealing damage proportional to the caster's speed. Again, it helps a lot for farming, and I keep saying that, but that's what it is. He is a really solid farmer. Obviously, it hurts a little bit if you're farming and fighting enemies that are fire elements, because that's his weakness. But any other type, he's actually a very solid farmer. Now, as I said, you want to build him with speed, so you can do it, one of 2 ways. You can go 4 speed with substats of attack, a crit, or you could go 4 attack and try to get substats of speed, but then you're going to lack a little bit of damage. It kind of balances out depending on how well you get the percentages going. So right here, for example, this Frozen Ring, I'm lacking attack on this. As you can see, I have a flat stat on it. That is not what you want. You don't want a flat stack, but the reason why I'm using this ring is because it's a speed ring. It has speed stat on it, and the other 3 abilities, or stats I should say, are percentage based. If it had a percentage attack on it, then it'd be more well off than what it is. I'm also using these boots, which they're not too bad. I have flat speed. Speed will always be flat on any set or on any piece of gear that you're using, so that's not too big a deal. I'm lacking, not on that one, I'm lacking stats on the sword. You can see my health is 40. This is not percentage based. Ideally, you want percentage based on your stats for your weapons. So I'm running a speed and crit set with as much attack as I can get, wherever I can get it. So right here I got percentage attack. Right here I got percentage attack. The armor, I wish I had percentage attack on it. I don't, but I got extra crit on it. And extra health and effect resistance, which is always nice. On the helmet, I wish I had attack as well. I don't, but I have extra speed and extra health and effect resistance, so that always helps. This one I have attack percentage, which is nice. So as far as artifacts go, Dust Devil works very well on him. I don't have Dust Devil on him right now because I have it on haste. But Dust Devil works very well, because the more enemies that you kill, the better off he is because of that combat readiness. The artifact that I currently have on him is Violet Talisman, because this one works, in my opinion, this one works pretty well with him as well, especially for those longer fights, because then he's stacking attack and evasion chance. Now there are a couple other abilities, a couple other artifacts that would work pretty well on him. On top of that, you have this one, Alexis Basket, would be okay, because you can get the increased attack and critical hit. I honestly don't prefer it. Again, it's okay. Elia's Knife, I was actually using this for a while on Vildred. This one's not too bad, because you penetrating defense means that you're going to be doing more damage, so that's always a nice bonus as well. Let's see who else do I got. Let's go. Let's change it. We're not going to change it, but we're going to take a look. Wind Rider, I don't think is actually a good one for him. I mean, yes, when you defeat an enemy, you get stealth and increase your attack, but I don't think it's the best one that you can put on him. I mean, if that is the best thief exclusive artifact you have, then by all means use it, but I don't really see that as one of the better ones for him. Dust Devil is probably one of the best ones for him. Moonlight Dreamblade, again, not really a good one for him. Increases evasion chance by 10% after successfully evading. The caster is granted increased attack for 1 turn. If you're going to do this, you might as well do Wind Rider, be honest with you. Either do Wind Rider or Violet Talisman. Those seem to be like the better ones in my opinion, just because they do more for you, and that's what you want. Now let's take this guy into, you know, a typical farming situation for me, to be honest with you. So we'll go here into Shining Star. That's the current side story that's available. We're just gonna run this one right here. That's what I've been running, and just for easy purposes, we're just gonna go into normal. I mean, it's not easy, but just normal, because I don't want to burn through all my stamina. So what I do typically when I'm running with him is, well, let me get somebody on here first. That's fine. So typically the way that I have my setup with him is I'll just have him in the front. I mean, it really doesn't matter where you have him, but I'll have him in the front. I'll throw a healer and then my 2 fodder. Because that's what we're looking to do, is just work with fodder. And you know, he does such a good job at farming and clearing that you don't really have to worry about things. Like, I'll just leave it on auto. And you know, the combat readiness helps him tremendously. Like I said, the more that you kill enemies, the more that he's going to be able to do. So he works really well with units that kind of can force a dual attack, so that way he can go ahead and you know, get that dual attack, because his second ability, which you're going to see proc right now, that one, it will proc. It will proc on a dual attack if he defeats an enemy. And as you saw right there, because I killed 2 enemies, his combat readiness increased by 20% each time, so he got another attack, which again is why I'm saying that he's actually a really solid farmer. You know, I don't think that he gets the praise that he should, to be honest. I mean, I feel like a lot of people prefer Sez over him, mainly because Sez's ultimate attack or third ability does more damage than Vildred's does. But what Vildred has over Sez is the fact that Vildred can attack multiple enemies at once without a restriction, where Sez attacks 1 enemy at a time, and if you get that enemy at 50% or lower, then he will follow up with an AoE attack, where Vildred attacks 2 enemies at one time regardless, and he gets combat readiness anytime an enemy is defeated, regardless if he defeats it or if somebody else defeats him. So that's why, to me, it makes him that good of a farming unit. You know, again, Dust Devil is a good option to have, because the more attacks you get, the more chances you have of defeating an enemy. Boom, he just killed someone, and he's going to go ahead and follow up there, and his combat readiness just threw him right down, which is really nice. Having high speed on top of that, it just makes him that much easier to use. And as you can see, my artifact is stacking itself, so I'm doing more damage each turn. But that's, again, because I'm using the Violet Talisman. If I was using Dust Devil, then I'd be proccing that double bonus effect, which is always a good thing. Overall, like I said, he works really well in situations where if you can force it, a dual attack, it helps out, such as using like Infinity Basket, or what's that other one called? Hold on, I'll get it. I always have a hard time remembering the name of the second one. Rosa Hargana. So Infinity Basket, Rosa Hargana, both of those basically force a dual attack, which is always nice. Having more attacks on a unit like Vildred benefits him that much more. Also, if you're using allies that increase combat readiness, boom, there you go. That is another bonus for Vildred, because that is helping him tremendously at that point to do more. And you know, other than that, I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't really bring him into arena unless you don't have anybody else. He doesn't. While he does do a decent amount of damage, he gets overshadowed really easily in arena by other players or by other units. Same token, I wouldn't bring him really into hunts except for Banshee, because of when you're fighting Banshee, she splits off into multiple enemies. The reason why I wouldn't bring him into other hunts is because obviously he's not going to work well for Wyvern. And then as far as the Golem goes, you don't really want to hit multiple enemies when fighting the Golem, so that's why he doesn't really work for that. He can work, on the other hand, for Labyrinths, which again, it doesn't seem to do bad on that because it's a longer fight. You're fighting multiple enemies at once, so it's beneficial to have an AoE unit such as him. So Labyrinths help, or not help, but Labyrinths are good to bring him in. And then of course story mode, he works decently well in story mode if he's not fighting his opposing type, meaning fire. So with that, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I feel like Vildred is a really solid unit to use. There are better units if you're looking for that damage dealing type. I want to point that out. While I said he's good for starting unit or starting players as well as farmers, he is overshadowed by his lack of damaging compared to other units. So just keep that in mind if you do roll on Vildred. Again, for me, if you're a new player, he's not a bad roll. So with that, I will catch you all later. Thank you so much for watching the video today. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'll see you in the next video. You guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out, guys.